Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife. In today's McDojo news, we're going to talk about how a martial arts instructor was able to stop and hold down a would-be car thief for over 25 minutes while he waited for the police to arrive. Let's check out the story. A highly trained martial arts expert used his skill to stop an alleged thief from stealing his car and restrained him until police arrived at the scene. Lewis Kemp Sloan, who was gone from training police officers and military units overseas to teaching self-defense classes of all ages, says he pulled up outside Dance Sai Dance Studio in Summerlin Street on Tuesday, November the 8th at around 4 p.m. to unload some equipment into the center before parking his car. In his haste, he left the keys in the engine of his Ford Ranger truck, and when making a return trip back to the vehicle, he was shocked to see someone inside it attempting to drive it away. However, Lewis's instincts and training quickly kicked into action, and he not only managed to prevent the alleged theft, but was able to detain the suspect. Lewis recalled, "I had just taken my baby out of the car and brought her in first, thankfully. I left her with a friend and started running the equipment back and forth. On my third or fourth return, I saw a guy sitting in the driver's seat. He looked at me, I shouted at him, and as I made it to the car, he started the engine and tried to pull away. The window of the driver's seat was down, so I was able to get my hands in through the window and grabbed a hold of him. In his panic, he stalled the car. I was wrestling the guy inside the truck, and I opened the door and pulled him out. He started fighting back and tried to get away, so I put him on the floor and sat on him and pinned him down. I shouted through the door of the center for someone to call the police. I was on top of the guy for about 25 minutes before they arrived, so it was quite a long time. And I was out there in only my flip-flops and t-shirt, so I was absolutely frozen. The irony that he picked on the wrong person didn't seem to be lost on anyone, especially as I was wearing my Exeter Self-Defense Academy t-shirt. What was also quite bizarre was at one point there was a dispute between the guy I was restraining and a passerby who tried to kick him, so I ended up trying to protect the person who had tried to steal my car." Lewis says he is satisfied that the situation ended without any injuries being caused to either party. He said, "The message I hope to be able to convey from this incident is the importance of self-defense. Not just so that way you can keep yourself safe, but others too. You don't need to go hurting anyone to achieve the optimal outcome." Up until the coronavirus began, Lewis had been working in the Middle East for 9 years, teaching mostly law enforcement. When COVID-19 hit, he was stood down, so he returned back to his Devon roots, expecting it to be temporary. He converted his garage in Exwick into a private gym to keep up with his training, but is now settled in the city and launched self-defense classes. He has been shocked that the biggest demand for them is for children. A spokesperson for Devon and Cornwall Police said, "Police were called at about 4:10 p.m. on November 8th to Summerlin Street in Exeter following an alleged attempt theft of a vehicle and alleged assault of a police officer." The spokesperson continued, saying a 22-year-old man from Axminster was arrested on suspicion of driving a motor vehicle with a proportion of specified controlled drugs, attempted theft of a motor vehicle, using threatening, abusive words, behavior likely to cause harassment, alarm, and driving while disqualified, and assault by beating of an emergency worker. Let's unpack that. But first, here's a little footage of what happened. There wasn't really any audio, so I just added a little track over the top. Apparently, this man, who is a professional martial arts instructor, just got back into town after being overseas, literally doing nothing but teaching military and police. He's unpacking some stuff from his car. Luckily enough, he was able to get his baby out of the car before some crazy person decided that they wanted to hijack his vehicle. He was able to get that person out of the car and then hold them down until police arrived for what seemed to be at least an estimated 25 minutes. I say good for this dude. This guy was not only able to subdue this person, but also make sure that no one got injured in the process. You, good sir, get an approving Miyagi. I love when you can see that martial arts not only is able to help people, but you don't necessarily have to hurt people for them to work. We don't really pass out a lot of approving Miyagis around here. A lot of times we're calling out the scumbags, but every time I come across a story where I see that martial arts has been beneficial in some way and someone has used them in the proper way, I always try to make sure I give them a little nod from our man, Mr. Miyagi. With that said, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comment sections. As some of you know, there is a subscription service available for McDojoLife. One of those tiers I have not used yet, and I'm going to start using it ASAP starting this next week. I will be providing martial arts business consulting advice on this page for anybody who is a part of that tier and our subscription services. I will be covering everything from how to get more leads in your door, how to convert people into becoming members of your studio, and how to retain those students so they're students for a long time. I will be dropping at least one free piece of advice right off the gate, but the rest are going to be specifically just for those members. Also, I will be doing a free martial arts seminar for martial arts school business owners or anybody in the industry once a month. That will be completely free for anybody who is also a member of that subscription service. So if you're interested in growing your martial arts business, I highly suggest you check that out. There'll be a ton of content that's about to be pumped out here soon just for that. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and all that other crap people online tell you to do. Keep the martial arts legit.
My baby got robbed the other day by degenerates. So she wanted to learn some new form of this self-defense. So she did her research and perused it online and found this tool said he could move shit with his mind. He call himself Seafood Paul Zimmerman. He got a dojo with a strip mall near Cinnabon. Now she spends all day trying to break boards with her thoughts, but the only thing she's breaking is my little heart.